Hello, hi everyone. Hi Connie. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thank
And this is mini interview number 4. This is in our series for International Women's Day 2021. And this year's it's a special year because the theme of this year is women leadership in COVID-19 world. So what better than speak to 5 incredible women from different walks of life. And today we have with us here Connie, my very dear friend and a customer. Connie is originally from Peru, and now she lives in the Netherlands. She's an expert digital marketer and has several years of experience across different industries, starting from education to automobiles, to retail, e-commerce, apparel, fashion, etc. So you name it, and she has it under her hat. So we are very lucky to have her here today, and she's going to share her experiences with us about how she handled the challenges that she faced during the pandemic and how she continues to do that. So Connie, thanks again for being here, and I'm sure it has been a long day for you. So thanks so much for making time for this.
Not at all. Thank you. Thank you, especially for such a kind introduction. And I'm really happy to be here talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Connie. So, Connie, let's just get right in there. The very first question that I had for you, Connie, is how did COVID-19 affect you professionally and personally?
Yeah, it definitely, but for everybody, I think it has been a really challenging year. Professionally speaking, of course, in the beginning and in the industry that I am, it has been a process of learning. I work, as you mentioned, as a marketeer, providing support for different companies in terms of marketing strategy and execution, especially focusing on social media. So in the beginning of COVID, of course, we didn't know for how long. Businesses change. We went into lockdown. So it was a process to kind of learn and try to support our clients in the best way with information that we had, and just try to grow to make sure that their businesses were not impacted as much as possible, to try to minimize this. And in terms of like the communication with the collaboration, indeed it affects a lot because I work with a team. I'm managing a team of fantastic social media consultants. Yeah, it was different because we didn't have the chance to really connect, be at the office, exchange these ideas, those brainstorming sessions that we always enjoy into the digital world. And it took effort, and I think everybody did fantastic, and I'm really blessed to have such an amazing and cooperative team around me. But yeah, it was a process. It was a learning in terms of how we interact and how to find the best ways to communicate with each other. And in the personal perspective, of course, as you mentioned, I'm originally from Peru. I live in the Netherlands with my amazing partner, but I also miss my parents who are in Peru, and which I didn't see since Christmas 2019. And I like to say it because every month sounds even harder and harder. And of course, I talk to them almost daily. But yeah, you miss the hug, you miss that contact, to have them face to face, which I'm sure a lot of people around it has it. Of course, I'm happy and blessed that everybody's healthy and everybody's strong. So so we can communicate and talk, and I'm happy that everybody's okay. But yeah, you need to adapt a little bit to the new scenario, right? So you need
Yeah.
to be a bit more flexible, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm sure it has been a very, very tough road, especially for people who are managing teams and who are working very closely with, with a small team of people, because, yeah, the way things were as we knew, it's completely different now, and also understanding what the other person is going through, the highs and lows, especially because of, we all have, at some point, initially, though we probably enjoyed it, at some point we started feeling lonely, right?
Mm,
And that also kind of affects the way we interact with people. So I'm
mm.
sure it was a tough time for you, your team, and with others as well who have been managing teams or working with, across, like working remotely.
Yeah.
And of course, I completely understand not being able to see your parents for more than a year. Yeah, it must be really painful. I was very lucky that my parents were here to help me with my baby. So I understand. I feel you, and I really hope that things will settle down soon and that you're able to meet your parents, or at least they can probably come here or you can go there. So I hope that happens very soon. And Connie, this is this question. The second question is, I always find it very interesting to know that in the time of adversity, how do we help others? That is what really matters, right? Like, of course, when everything is okay, reaching out to someone for help is different. But when we are also in a situation where we need probably support, like how do we support others, or how do we support a community, that is quite, that's quite defining. And I wanted to know from you, how have you supported your community during the COVID-19, in the COVID-19 world rather?
Yeah, no, indeed, it's as you well said, it also changed the way that you actually give support. I was the kind of person that, for example, would like to do some volunteer job on the peninsula and then try to do a bit more of physical work to help others. But now with the restrictions, of course, that's something that is not possible to do. So you also have to be a little bit more creative on the way that you will connect with others. And of course, in your inner circle, the support that you can always give is like by understanding, by trying to be there to, even with a word, even on distance, even with a call, to try to be a bit present in their lives, to make sure that you have connections. Of course, in terms of like supporting also businesses around your area, which is a win-win situation, because I like to order food. I'm a foodie, but indeed it's a nice way also to support the local businesses that are around it, to try to not give a little bit extra there, to keep this business, because this is definitely an industry that has been extremely affected by the situation. And as a social media person, following a bit of the trends, Facebook has the opportunity, or have a functionality, I believe since the beginning of the last year, actually since COVID hit, which is Help Community. Functionality where you can really follow and see requests of help, but you can also request help, of course. And this is a really nice way to really connect with people who is in your country or in your area sometimes, that they are requesting any type of advice. Could be not necessarily that they need, it's not about giving even money. Sometimes it's about giving time. They have some questions that, from my experience as also a foreigner living in the Netherlands, I can answer, all from my expertise working in marketing also as well. But for other people, for example, I don't know, they just need a babysitter for their cats because they have a family member that is sick, so somebody can offer help. So it's a really nice place that that you can see and choose and communicate with others and keep connecting. So so I'm trying to be a little bit creative on the ways that I'm trying to connect with some people. But if anybody who's hearing this and they didn't have that option, please go to your Facebook page and then check, because for sure you will find somebody in your community who will need help. And also, if you need that, you can always post it there.
This is really amazing, because I've heard about it, but I've never explored it. And I'm sure, as you said, it's not only for offering help, it's also when we need help, we could do that. So I think this is something very interesting for our community as well. I'm going to mention that maybe in the next blog, and also in the post for people who want to know about it. And I think it's a double whammy, because we are on Facebook, literally, right? We are spending a lot of time during the pandemic. We're spending a lot of time on Instagram or Facebook, or the social media. So this way, it's also a great way to connect with people who really need you, or a great way to get people to help you if you're in need. Yeah, that's very good, very creative indeed, Connie.
yeah, and sometimes we think like, okay, I don't have much to help, or I don't have ways. There is always something that we can do, and I think there is like a lot of possibilities and a lot of opportunities that we can have to give.
And
So
this
yeah,
is,
that's
I mean, it's also very, like, I would say, easy way to do it, right? Like, as you said, initially going out for volunteering work, and then of course we don't know when that's coming back in terms of how soon we can really get going with that. But this is really interesting. Thanks a lot. Indeed, very creative and a very great tip for all of us here. So thanks for sharing that.
thank you.
Last but not the least, but it's one of my favorite questions, because I think all the interviews that I've done so far, I've learned a lot from what people I'm speaking to gave me the responses for. So, what are your three main takeaways, or let's say key three learnings from what happened last year, or what you see now happening?
Hmm. That's a really good question. I think that um, first of all, to learn how to be compassionate with others and also with myself, to understand that everybody will face this current situation in their different way. So try to be really understanding and empathic with the people, but also, as I said, with myself, because there are days that, yeah, I don't feel the energy. I don't feel so positive as I will feel if I'm at the office with my team, or if I had the chance to go on holidays and see my family. So just to be a bit more understanding and compassionate, I think, for in general. Um, Creative, I think, also in terms of my work, try to find solutions, ways to communicate, ways to interact, keep it fun also for the team. um, and I think also perspective, because really puts you in a position that you value a lot uh, your place, you value a lot what you have, the communications, the interaction, the people that you have around you. It really, in my personal experience, it taught me also how lucky I am, how grateful I should be also. So it gave me that view. And by not having my family, how much I miss it, how much I miss my mom's food. But yeah, it gave me a lot of perspective of from the positive, and also in terms of negative side, but mostly positive, let's say.
Beautiful, three simple things you mentioned, and I completely concur. And it has been the same for me. Especially the perspective that you spoke about. It really shows how lucky you are, whether just for being healthy or just having people that you can talk to. How you can connect with them again, and what really matters. I think that is what the 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 low time of COVID has shown us. The reflection that we have been able to have on the entire situation that we have gone through. So, compassion, perspective, and creativity, which is very important in every form and shape, whether it's at work or professional life, personal life, or as you mentioned, in the way we want to help people or want to be helped. I think it's very important to be creative. So thanks a lot. I think these are three very, very important key things to take to learn from. And thanks for sharing these experiences with us. Very grateful. And also thanks for sharing everything that you mentioned today about what you've gone through, your journey during the last year and now. And we hope to connect with you again for maybe a blog on the Facebook community help. So we'll reach out. But for now, thanks a lot, and we wish you a very, very good evening.
Thank you, and thank you to everybody who took the time to also listen to this. And I wish you, for you and for everybody, a lot of strength and a lot of health, and a lot of compassion.
Thank you. Bye bye, Connie. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.